Friends, thank you for being here today. What if I told you that while the world obsesses over land-based resources like oil fields and mining deposits, they're completely missing the vast blue economy that covers 71% of our planet's surface? And what happens when everyone realizes that the future of food security, renewable energy, and mineral extraction isn't happening on land, but in the oceans controlled by one country that owns more marine territory than any other nation on Earth? Most people don't know that Canada controls more ocean than any country in the world. Our exclusive economic zone spans 5.9 million square kilometers, an area larger than India. We possess the world's longest coastline at 202,080 kilometers, touching three oceans, the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic. This gives us unprecedented access to marine resources, shipping routes, and underwater territories that could be worth trillions of dollars as ocean technologies advance. This isn't just about traditional fishing or shipping. We're talking about offshore wind farms that could power entire continents, deep-sea mining operations extracting rare earth elements essential for green technology, and marine biotechnology discovering new medicines in ocean organisms. But here's the question that will reshape maritime geopolitics. What happens when the blue economy is dominated by Canada? This is the story of how geography, climate change, and advancing ocean technology are making Canada the undisputed emperor of the world as marine resources, and why the next economic breakthrough might come from the depths of Canadian waters, powered by our waves and protected by our sovereignty. Before we examine Canada's ocean advantages, we need to understand how dramatically the global economy is pivoting toward marine resources, and why ocean control is becoming the ultimate strategic asset of the 21st century. The numbers reveal the staggering potential of the ocean economy. The global blue economy is currently worth over $2.5 trillion annually and could reach $3 trillion by 2030. This includes fisheries, tourism, shipping, offshore energy, and emerging sectors like ocean mining and marine biotechnology. But traditional ocean economy statistics don't capture the transformative technologies that are making previously inaccessible marine resources economically viable. Advances in underwater robotics, deep-sea drilling, and marine biotechnology are opening vast new sectors of ocean-based economic activity. Climate change is accelerating this ocean transition by making Arctic waters accessible for the first time in human history. As sea ice retreats, new shipping routes, energy resources, and mineral deposits are becoming available. Countries with Arctic coastlines are gaining access to resources and trade routes that were previously frozen and unusable. The energy transition is driving massive new demand for offshore renewable energy. Offshore wind farms can generate electricity at scales impossible on land, with consistent wind resources that provide more reliable power generation than onshore installations. The global offshore wind market is projected to grow from $35 billion to over $175 billion by 2030. Deep-sea mining represents another emerging sector that could revolutionize global supply chains for critical minerals. The ocean floor contains vast deposits of manganese nodules, polymetallic sulfides, and cobalt-rich crusts that are essential for battery technology, renewable energy systems, and advanced electronics. Marine biotechnology is discovering new medicines, materials, and industrial applications from ocean organisms. Deep-sea bacteria that survive in extreme conditions could provide insights for developing new antibiotics, industrial enzymes, and materials with unique properties. But perhaps most importantly, the oceans are becoming critical for food security as land-based agriculture faces increasing challenges from climate change, water scarcity, and soil degradation. Marine aquaculture could provide sustainable protein sources for growing global populations. This ocean economy revolution is creating new forms of international competition and cooperation. Countries with extensive marine territories are gaining strategic advantages, while landlocked nations face increasing dependence on maritime powers for access to ocean resources. Now, let's examine what Canada actually controls in this blue economy transformation. Our marine advantages go far beyond just having long coastlines. We possess integrated ocean capabilities that span multiple sectors and regions. Let's start with the sheer scale of our marine territory. Canada's exclusive economic zone covers 5.9 million square kilometers, making it the largest EEZ in the world. This marine territory is larger than the entire landmass of most countries, including India, which has over 1.4 billion people. Our coastline of 202,080 kilometers is not just the longest in the world, it's longer than the next four countries combined. This coastline provides access to diverse marine environments, from tropical influenced waters off British Columbia to Arctic waters in the Northern Territories. The three-ocean advantage cannot be overstated. Most countries have coastlines on one ocean, limiting their access to specific trade routes and marine resources. Canada's unique position touching the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic oceans provides access to every major global shipping route and marine ecosystem. Our Atlantic coastline provides access to some of the world's richest fishing grounds, including the Grand Banks off Newfoundland. Despite historical overfishing challenges, these waters remain productive and are being restored through sustainable management practices. The Pacific coastline offers access to Asian markets and Pacific trade routes, while providing some of the most productive marine ecosystems in the world. British Columbia's coastal waters support diverse fisheries, marine mammals, and emerging aquaculture operations. But it's our Arctic coastline that provides the most transformative opportunities. As climate change opens Arctic waters, Canada gains access to shipping routes, energy resources, and mineral deposits that were previously inaccessible. The Northwest Passage through Canadian Arctic waters could become one of the world's most important shipping routes. Our continental shelf extends far beyond our coastline, providing additional seabed area under Canadian jurisdiction. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea allows countries to claim extended continental shelf areas beyond the standard 200-mile EEZ if they can prove geological continuity. Canada has submitted claims for extended continental shelf areas in both the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. If accepted, these claims would add hundreds of thousands of square kilometers to our marine territory, including areas with significant energy and mineral potential. The fishing industry provides the foundation for Canada's ocean economy, but it represents only the beginning of our marine economic potential. Canadian fisheries generate over $7 billion annually in direct economic activity, supporting coastal communities from Newfoundland to British Columbia. Our fisheries are among the most sustainable in the world, managed through science-based quotas and ecosystem approaches that maintain fish populations while supporting economic activity. This sustainable management provides long-term advantages over countries that have overexploited their marine resources. But the future of Canada's ocean economy lies in sectors that are just beginning to develop. Offshore renewable energy represents perhaps the most significant opportunity for transforming our marine advantages into economic power. To understand how this translates into strategic leverage, we need to look at the emerging ocean technologies that are making Canada's marine territories increasingly valuable, and how other countries are becoming dependent on ocean resources they don't control. Offshore wind energy represents the most immediate opportunity for leveraging Canada's marine advantages. Our Atlantic and Pacific coastlines offer some of the world's best offshore wind resources, with consistent wind speeds and shallow continental shelf areas ideal for wind farm development. The Scotian Shelf off Nova Scotia has been identified as having offshore wind potential equivalent to Nova Scotia's entire current electricity consumption several times over. Pacific offshore wind resources could power much of British Columbia's electricity needs while providing exports to neighboring regions. Unlike European offshore wind developments that face space constraints and competing marine uses, Canadian offshore wind projects have access to vast marine areas with minimal conflicts. This space advantage allows for larger, more efficient wind farm developments. The economic impact of offshore wind development could be transformative for Atlantic Canada. The offshore wind supply chain requires specialized vessels, maintenance facilities, and skilled workers that could revitalize coastal communities, traditionally dependent on fishing and resource extraction. International energy companies are recognizing Canada's offshore wind potential. European wind developers with experience in North Sea projects are exploring partnerships with Canadian companies to develop Atlantic offshore wind resources. Deep sea mining represents another frontier, where Canada's extensive marine territory provides significant advantages. The ocean floor within Canadian waters contains polymetallic nodules, hydrothermal vents, and mineral deposits that could supply critical materials for green technology. The Clarion-Clipperton Zone in the Pacific, while mostly in international waters, extends into Canadian EEZ areas. This region contains manganese nodules with high concentrations of nickel, copper, cobalt, and rare earth elements essential for battery production and renewable energy systems. Arctic waters becoming accessible due to climate change could reveal mineral resources that have been hidden under sea ice for millions of years. Early geological surveys suggest significant potential for offshore oil, gas, and mineral deposits in Canadian Arctic waters. The technology for deep-sea mining is advancing rapidly, with companies developing robotic systems that can extract minerals from ocean depths of 4,000 to 6,000 meters. Canadian companies with mining expertise are well positioned to develop these ocean mining capabilities. Marine biotechnology represents a sector where Canada's diverse ocean environments provide unique advantages. Cold water marine organisms found in Canadian waters have evolved biochemical adaptations that could provide insights for medical and industrial applications. Arctic marine bacteria that survive in extreme cold could provide compounds for preserving biological materials or developing cold-resistant industrial processes. Deep-sea organisms from Canadian waters might produce antibiotics, effective against drug-resistant infections. The Institute of Ocean Sciences in British Columbia and marine research facilities in Atlantic Canada are conducting research that could unlock commercial applications for marine biotechnology. These research capabilities provide foundations for building marine biotech industries. Aquaculture represents another sector where Canada's extensive marine territory provides expansion opportunities. Marine fish farming, shellfish cultivation, and seaweed production could provide sustainable food sources while generating economic activity in coastal regions. Canadian aquaculture operations are developing innovative approaches that address environmental concerns while maintaining productivity. Closed containment systems, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, and offshore aquaculture technologies could make Canadian marine farming a global model. The seaweed industry represents a particularly promising opportunity. Marine algae can be used for food, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and biofuels. Canada's cold water marine environments are ideal for cultivating seaweed species that are in high demand globally. I want to pause here because this raises a critical question that I'd love to hear your thoughts on. As ocean resources become more valuable and accessible, should Canada prioritize economic development of our marine territories? Or should we focus on conservation and environmental protection of ocean ecosystems? This balance will define how we use one of our greatest natural advantages and could affect everything from climate change, mitigation, to coastal community development. What's your perspective on developing Canada's ocean economy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Beyond just resource extraction and energy production, Canada's ocean advantages are creating opportunities to control global shipping routes and marine infrastructure that could provide lasting strategic benefits. The Northwest Passage represents perhaps the most significant geopolitical opportunity emerging from Canada's Arctic waters. As climate change reduces sea ice coverage, shipping routes through the Canadian Arctic archipelago are becoming navigable for longer periods each year. The Northwest Passage could reduce shipping distances between Europe and Asia by up to 40% compared to traditional routes through the Suez Canal or around the Cape of Good Hope. For containerized freight, this distance reduction translates directly into cost savings and reduced transit times. Major shipping companies are already conducting trial voyages through Arctic waters to evaluate the commercial viability of northern routes. As ice coverage continues to decline, these routes could handle increasing volumes of international trade. But the legal status of the Northwest Passage remains contested. Canada claims these waters as internal territorial waters subject to Canadian sovereignty. The United States and European Union argue that the passage should be treated as an international strait with rights of transit passage. This legal dispute has major economic implications. If Canada's sovereignty claims are recognized, we could regulate shipping through the Northwest Passage, potentially collecting transit fees and enforcing environmental standards. If the waters are treated as international straits, we lose control over this strategic shipping route. Canada's position in Arctic shipping is strengthened by our infrastructure investments and regulatory capabilities. The Canadian Coast Guard operates icebreakers and provides navigation services in Arctic waters. Canadian ports like Churchill could serve as refueling and resupply stops for ships transiting Arctic routes. Our three-ocean position also provides advantages in global shipping logistics. Ports on all three Canadian coasts can serve different regional markets and provide redundancy for international supply chains. The Port of Vancouver is already one of the most important gateways for trade between North America and Asia. Expanding port capacity and improving rail connections could increase Canada's role in trans-Pacific trade. Atlantic ports could serve growing trade relationships with Europe and Africa, while Arctic ports could become critical infrastructure for northern shipping routes. This multi-ocean port system provides flexibility that few countries can match. Marine tourism represents another sector where Canada's extensive coastlines and diverse marine environments create significant economic opportunities. Whale watching, cruise ship tourism, and marine recreation generate billions of dollars annually while supporting coastal communities. Arctic tourism is growing rapidly as travelers seek experiences in previously inaccessible regions. Cruise ships, expedition vessels, and adventure tourism operators are developing Arctic itineraries that showcase Canadian northern waters. The marine tourism industry requires careful management to balance economic benefits with environmental protection. Canada's experience managing marine protected areas and sustainable tourism practices provides frameworks for developing marine tourism responsibly. However, realizing Canada's ocean economy potential requires strategic investments in marine infrastructure, technology development, and international partnerships that many Canadians don't fully appreciate. Marine infrastructure development is essential for supporting expanded ocean economic activity. Ports, harbors, research facilities, and support services need upgrades to accommodate new ocean industries and larger-scale operations. The offshore wind industry requires specialized ports capable of handling massive wind turbine components and support vessels. Atlantic Canada needs infrastructure investments to support offshore wind development while creating local economic benefits. Deep-sea mining operations would require new types of port facilities, processing plants, and specialized vessels. Canadian ports could serve not just domestic deep-sea mining operations, but also international mining companies operating in nearby waters. Research and development capabilities need expansion to maintain Canada's competitiveness in ocean technologies. Marine research institutions, underwater robotics development, and ocean engineering expertise are essential for developing new ocean industries. Skilled workforce development is critical for ocean economy expansion. Marine engineering, underwater operations, offshore renewable energy, and marine biotechnology all require specialized skills that need coordinated educational and training programs. International partnerships are important for developing ocean technologies and accessing global markets. Ocean industries often require international collaboration, technology sharing, and coordinated regulatory frameworks. Environmental protection and sustainable development frameworks are essential for ensuring that ocean economic development does not damage the marine ecosystems that provide long-term economic value. Canada's reputation for environmental stewardship is an asset that needs to be maintained. If you're finding this analysis of Canada's ocean transformation valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue producing in-depth analysis of the geographic and economic trends that are reshaping our maritime future. The ocean economy represents one of the most significant opportunities for economic development and strategic advantage in the 21st century. Countries that achieve leadership in marine resources, ocean technology, and maritime infrastructure will influence global trade, energy systems, and food security for decades to come. Canada possesses marine advantages that are unmatched by any other country. Our three ocean access provides global reach. Our vast EEZ offers enormous resource potential. Our long coastlines provide diverse marine environments and development opportunities. But possessing these advantages is not the same as leveraging them strategically. Canada needs to make conscious decisions about how to develop our ocean capabilities while balancing economic opportunities, environmental protection, and international cooperation. The next decade will be critical for establishing our role in the global ocean economy. The investments and policies we implement now will determine whether Canada becomes the dominant maritime power or simply provides raw marine resources for other countries' ocean industries. The choices we make will affect not just our coastal communities, but our entire economy as ocean resources become more important for energy, minerals, food, and transportation. Countries that fall behind in ocean capabilities will find themselves increasingly dependent on maritime powers for access to essential resources. Friends, we are living through the emergence of the ocean as the next frontier for economic development and strategic competition. While the world's attention focuses on land-based resources and space exploration, the real transformation may be happening in the waters that cover most of our planet. Canada has been dealt an exceptional hand in this blue revolution. Our oceans provide access to energy resources that could power continents. Our seabed contains minerals essential for green technology. Our marine ecosystems harbor organisms that could revolutionize medicine and material science. Our shipping routes could connect global trade networks. The question is whether Canada can become a major power in the ocean economy. We already control more marine territory than any other country. The question is whether we'll have the vision and commitment to leverage this ocean dominance strategically, building maritime industries that serve both Canadian interests and global ocean development. The tides are turning, the winds are blowing, and the future of energy, minerals, and food is being discovered in ocean waters around the world. Canada has the coastlines to access those resources, the territory to claim them, and the opportunity to benefit from their development. What we do with this ocean opportunity will determine not just our role in global maritime industries, but our sovereignty in a world where ocean control shapes everything from shipping routes to climate solutions to food security. The blue economy is here, and it's as vast as the oceans that surround us. Canada can either rule these waves or watch others harvest the wealth beneath them. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of Canada's ocean empire. What aspects of our marine advantages do you think are most important for our future? Should we prioritize ocean resource development or focus on marine conservation? Share your insights below, and I'll see you in the next analysis of the forces shaping our maritime destiny.